Now listen, there's one instance, Dalton, you've been at the scene since about 8:45 this morning. You spoke to a witness, somebody that was close to what happened, and they had an Old National Bank shirt on. Dalton, if you could, just tell me what that person told you, how that person felt, and the look on that person's face.
Hard to really put into words, Sterling. I'll be honest with you. The emotion and the sadness and the shock that was very evident on that person's face was very hard to watch, as that was less than an hour removed from what happened here today. The shooting that claimed the lives of 5 different people and have injured several others, including 2 police officers. That person was an employee at Old National Bank. He came here across the perimeter where we are and embraced 2 of his close friends or loved ones, and was just really overcome with the emotion and with the shock of what happened inside that bank. It was very clear that he either witnessed it or was very close by when it happened. I asked if he was all right, and he said yes. However, I wasn't able to get any more information from him, as he mentioned that he needed some space, and that is totally understandable. And there are a lot of people who will be very closely connected to this tragic, unfathomable incident who will need space during the next several days, and especially today as they try and get through this unthinkable act. And we have to respect those folks and the times that they are going through right now. But you know, the people who witnessed this, the people who were here when this all played out, the chaos that ensued at that bank and on this street is going to have a lasting impact, not only on the folks who were involved in this and who saw it themselves with their own 2 eyes, but on our city as a whole. And it's important right now that we come together and that we wrap our arms around Louisville, and that we love on each other, and that we tell our loved ones that we love them and that we are thankful for them, because this is evidence that it can happen anywhere at any time. And it has happened here in downtown Louisville, a place right in the heart of our city. And there are people who we know, who we love, and who we care about that are going to be very deeply impacted by this. Even our governor spoke about his connections to this as he was overcome with emotion this morning.
I want people to know that while today is a horrific act, I do believe that this is a safe community, with officers doing their very best each and every day, and that's what we saw here. And I want to thank them and all our other law enforcement officers for responding and doing their best to try to save some of my friends and many others.
It shows on the governor's face, through his emotions and through his words, how impactful this is, how sad it is, and just how unfathomable it is that this has happened in the heart of our city. Something that the governor touched on and that others have touched on and will touch on in the future is LMPD and other law enforcement's response to this. KSP is here now as well. I'd like to mention that we just saw some Kentucky State Police officers on scene here on Preston Street near the bank. But there were so many law enforcement officers that did not hesitate when this call came in. We heard from LMPD that it took 3 minutes, and when they got there, within 3 minutes, there was gunfire exchanged between police officers and between that active shooter, who we now know is deceased. It's still not clear how that shooter was killed, whether that was from police gunfire or his own gunfire. Those details will emerge in the coming hours, possibly in the coming days, but police are still on scene here trying to investigate everything that played out. Again, this shooting, which has attention from all over the world right now, happened inside of a bank. We showed you pictures of broken glass at the entrance. We showed you video from multiple gunshots that rang out that you could hear outside of the bank, that a witness took and gave us permission to use. We heard and saw police screaming and running into that building immediately. There is no question that lives were saved because of the police response that happened here in Louisville today. We have seen these situations play out all over our country in multiple different ways, in multiple different situations and places, and we've seen a variety of different police responses. However, the one that happened here that LMPD is telling us about happened within minutes, and though 5 lives were lost, countless others were saved because of the response that happened here. What's interesting to note about this situation is that it happened at a bank. Many banks, especially a bank such as the stature of Old National Bank, have countless cameras inside their lobby. From every angle inside that lobby, I would guarantee there is a camera in there showing the scene. In the coming days or weeks, I would assume that we will begin to see some of that video released by police. And what separates this from many of the shootings that we have seen is just how big of a picture we're going to get of what played out inside that bank compared when you take the cameras that are inside the lobby there where the glass was shattered and also the officers' body cameras. It will be a very clear picture of what happened here in this unthinkable, tragic, devastating, and heartbreaking situation in our city. Again, we just ask for prayers for the people impacted by this as Louisville mourns the loss of the lives that were taken here today and begins to put together the pieces of this tragic situation.